The American Civil War was a monumental event in the history of the United States. It was a 4-year conflict that took place between 1861 and 1865 and resulted in the deaths of over 620,000 soldiers and civilians. The war was fought between the Union, or the United States of America, and the Confederate States of America, which seceded from the Union in 1861. The Civil War remains one of the most studied and debated periods in American history, with its impact still felt today. The root cause of the Civil War was the issue of slavery. The North and South had different economic systems, with the North relying on industrialization and the South on agriculture, which was heavily dependent on slave labor. As the country expanded westward, tensions grew over whether new territories would allow or ban slavery. The issue eventually led to the secession of Southern states, beginning with South Carolina in December 1860. The first shots of the Civil War were fired on April 12, 1861, at Fort Sumter in South Carolina. President Abraham Lincoln, who had just taken office, called for 75,000 volunteers to put down the rebellion, and 4 more states seceded. The Union and Confederate armies clashed in numerous battles over the next 4 years, including the battles of Gettysburg and Antietam, which were the bloodiest battles in the war. The Union Army, led by generals such as Ulysses S. Grant and William Tecumseh Sherman, eventually gained the upper hand, and Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered on April 9, 1865, effectively ending the war. President Lincoln was assassinated just days later, on April 14, 1865, by John Wilkes Booth, a Confederate sympathizer. The end of the Civil War marked a turning point in American history. The Union was preserved, and slavery was abolished with the passage of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. The war also set the stage for the Reconstruction of the South, and the eventual granting of civil rights to African Americans. However, the Civil War also had a devastating impact on the country. The loss of life was staggering, and the physical destruction of the South was extensive. The war also left deep scars on the psyche of the nation, with the legacy of slavery and racial discrimination continuing to be felt long after the war's end. Today, the Civil War remains a topic of intense interest for historians, scholars, and the general public. It is a complex and multifaceted event that continues to shape the United States in many ways. By studying the causes, events, and aftermath of the Civil War, we can gain a better understanding of the challenges and opportunities that face us as a nation today.